Hello and welcome. It's another edition of Weighted to Win. Certainly looking forward to today's trip off to Hollywood Bets Greyville. We're on the Poly track, so KwaZulu-Natal racing. Just another reminder about that social media strap, which is on your screen at the moment. And I've got both these joining me, of course, Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows on the line. And we've got 8 races, which means the bar pot starts now in race number 1. I'm going to give you some sort of clue as to what the market's doing at the moment. As it stands, 14 to 10, number 3, Victor Rail in the first race. Number 6, Tiger in red at 2 to 1, and it's 7 to 1 and better bar those. All right, so I'm going to go straight off to Darren Burrows first. Darren, welcome to the show. I believe you're a man that's red hot in form at the moment. What do you like in the first? Give us a winner. Let's start off with a bang.
Yes, Brandon, I like this horse Tiger in red quite a lot. Now, 3 runs back on the Poly. He was the most unluckiest of losers. The gaps closed on him at a crucial part, and he ran third, beaten a length and a half. His penultimate start, he ran second to McCartney. I thought that was a good effort. And then last time out, he went handy and just faded. If I'm not mistaken, he's been gelded. Can Daryl confirm that?
That's correct. He has been gelded, so that I can confirm. Just having a look at him, Tiger in red. I know you got a bit more to add, Darren, so I'm going to let you continue because we can confirm that he has been gelded.
Yes, so that's my first choice. And my second choice will be your current favourite, Victor Rail. He's had the 5 starts. I think the drop-in trip could be ideal.
All right, thank you very much. So Tiger in red for Darren Burrows. I think was gelded back on the 5th of May, but I'll let the form studier confirm that, Daryl Marie. Daryl, welcome to the show. Obviously, not a bad day at the office yesterday at the Vaal. I know the last race was unfortunately abandoned. What do you like in the first?
I'm also in Tiger in the Reds camp, Brandon. I like the fact that he's been gelded. You know, there's not much separating the favourites, which is Victor Rail and number 8, Cotton Run on 2 form lines, the Maserati Raw form line and the Fish Eagle form line. So in my opinion, Victor Rail's a bit short in the market. We saw Servilius or something like that win.
That's right.
Confirm that form line. Yeah, he's favourite. And just for that South African racing crowd out there, Sam and Tony and the boys, I suggest you only have your first drink after 12 o'clock because we're not labeling Victor Rail and we didn't label Zoom Lady. So, yeah. That's all I got to say.
Wonderful. All right, so we'll move along. Thank you very much to Daryl Marie. And perhaps Tiger in red is the horse we're going to focus on in the first this afternoon. 2 to 1 at the moment. And I'm sure that will shorten up race time. Let's see what we're doing in terms of selections. I see the bar pot over here. Daryl Marie's gone 3, 6 and 8. So 3, 6 and 8 being Victor Rail, Tiger in red and Cotton Run, by Banker 8, by Banker 4, by 1, 3, 6 and 10, by 2, 7 and 9, by 2, 4 and 5. And that's going to cost you 108 Rand. It goes off at 12.25 and it's over 1,000 meters. All right, so we'll move along to the first leg of the place, Accumulate, and it starts now in race number 2, so we'll dive into the markets. Quite open, to be quite honest with you. The 8 National Dream, 33 to 10. Giuseppe Song, number 6 at 4 to 1. 2 Cerulean Dancer, 5 to 1. And it's 11 to 2 and better bar those. All right, so I'm going to go to Darren Burrows. Darren, quite an open race. Good to see that Fani Bronkhorst has taken a few horses off to Durban this afternoon. What do you make of this horse, Cerulean Dancer?
I give her a big chance, Brandon. You know, obviously she has to take to the Poly for the first time, but her rating couldn't be off a better mark. So she's finding her best form. She must be competitive if taking to the Poly. Chelsea Flower's been a disappointment. I've expected a lot more from this filly. Her rating's right down to a 65, but she races like she's a bit flat. I don't know. There's something not right because she's far better than her form suggests. I actually like a horse called Vengeance Forever. Now, this horse was too far out of his ground last time out. He must have been 3 lengths off the second last horse turning for home, and he was flying through runners, eye-catching headway. If he's closer to the pace, step up in trip, this could be the value. And then the obvious horse in the race is National Dream, having his 3rd run after a lengthy layoff.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be a straightforward race. And like I say, great to have Fani Bronkhorst in Durban this afternoon. He's taken a number of horses to the poly track. Daryl, I mean, a fair comment. These horses that do go to the poly track, they've obviously been horses that have been showing something back at home and perhaps the right sort of races. Any space for Cerulean Dancer?
No, I'm all in the camp of National Dream, Brandon. I watched his latest replay. I thought it was a great effort. You know, 2 more strides and he runs a clear second. Third run off the rest, Keegan DeMello. I can't believe he's not better than rated 50. You know, he was finishing so strongly on that occasion. The extra 200 meters is certainly going to be in his favor. I can't believe his current price. I thought he'd be much shorter. So for me, National Dream, all my eggs in his basket.
He only got 53.5 kilograms on the back, and I see Keegan DeMello's been booked to ride for Alison Wright. So, Daryl Marie quite big on the source this afternoon, and you're certainly getting some value. Let's go and see what we're doing in terms of selections. It is the first leg of today's PA. Daryl Marie going to banker number 8, National Dream, by banker 4 in the second leg, by 1, 3, 6 and 10, by 2, 7, 9, by 2, 4, 5, by 6 and 8, by 4, 5 and 7. 216 Rand the spend. It's off at 1 o'clock and it's over 2,000 meters. Let's move along to race number 3. It's the big one of the afternoon, the pick 6, the bet we all want to catch. And the market over here has Nelson Bay at 18 to 10. That's number 4 on the program. Number 5, Purple Ninja Turtle, 2 to 1. 7 is at 5 to 1. At 7 to 1 in better bar those. Let's go back to Darren. Darren, the market seems to think that it'll be a 2-horse race, just judging by the way they've been priced up. Nelson Bay and Purple Ninja Turtle. Is that the same way you see the race?
Banker Nelson Bay for me. I was very impressed with his last effort. He was drawn deep. He must have been 8-10 lengths off them turning for home, and he absolutely flew. He got beat 2 lengths by Fibonacci. He's now got a draw. He can get into a handy position, and I think he'll finish his race off strong. I'm bankering Nelson Bay, and the obvious dangers, Mystery Cash and Purple Ninja Turtle.
All right, so very strong on Nelson Bay is Darren Burrows. That's your current favourite. Let's see what Daryl Marie likes over here. Daryl, I think we always need to respect when Waishong is taking horses down to Durban. Obviously, he would have had some sort of plan with the source Purple Ninja Turtle. Nothing wrong today. It's only had the 2 runs and done everything right. If taking to the poly, certainly a horse that's going to be very competitive.
Absolutely. I find it interesting that number 6 is in this race, the stable companion. Don't know if he's there to ensure a decent gallop. But yes, I mean, we saw Max the Magician follow up. We saw French Impact also frank that form line indirectly. He must be respected. I'm also in the camp of Nelson Bay. I thought his latest start was eye-catching. He's met King of Seville twice. He's beaten him twice. But King of Seville now cracks a draw. He gets the blinkers for the first time. Great to see Daryl Daniels back in the irons. He just seems a bit one pace. So I think Nelson Bay will confirm that form. Mystery Cash, on the other hand, has beaten Nelson Bay. And everything went pear-shaped in his latest start. So if he bounces back to his debut efforts, I think he could possibly be Nelson Bay's biggest danger.
All right, wonderful. Great stuff. Thank you very much to Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows. Let's go and see what we're doing for the first leg of the pick 6. Those selections up on your screen at the moment. Darren Burrows is going to bank number 4. Nelson Bay in the first leg. Short and sweet. He really likes this horse this afternoon. The 2-year-old Bay Colt, the ride of Samanga Kumalo, 4 Peter Muscat. Second leg, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9 and 10 by 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9 and 10 by Banker 4 by 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 by the Big F. Field. 403 Rand and 20 cents. Going to give you 10%. So just over 400 Rand, you'll be able to take that perm for almost 10%. All right, so it's a pick 6. Like I keep saying and keep waxing lyrical, it's the bet that can certainly change your life. You need to be on by 13:35. The first jackpot starts now in race number 4, and I see Silver Clock has been taken down to Durban. I just want to see what price this horse is in the market, because a horse that's obviously been very competitive and I thought was mighty unlucky not to have finished a bit closer last time out. Yeah, I see Silver Clock your favourite, 15-4. The 3 Time for Glory, 5-1. 10 Chelsea Blue, 5-1. At 6-1 and better bar those. So quite an open race. Let's go to Darren first. Darren, what do you like over here? I'm just telling you off the bat, I thought Silver Clock probably should have gone a bit closer last time out. It got very, very tight that last, say, 50 meters or so for Silver Clock. The unknown question, how's she going to go on the poly? Imagine she's showing some decent work back at home. She's not going to go all the way to Durban for nothing. We know that transport fees nowadays very expensive. What do you like over here?
I give Silver Clock a massive chance here. I think the 14 is going to be ideal. If she takes to the poly, she's a definite runner. Now, Time for Glory is interesting because the highest rating she achieved, running second in the nursery and Golden Slipper just off them, was 100. Now she's down to a 73. So I think that short run-in is going to suit her because she has a short burst of speed. So I think Time for Glory is going to be competitive. Hatter, in form, never runs a bad race of late. And then Chelsea Blue, she'll probably overcome the draw because she likes to go handy. And her last run was good. So 2, 3, 7, and 10.
All right, yeah, I mean, it's one of those races where we only going to know the answer after the race is done and dusted if they're going to take to the poly or not. Daryl, what do you like over here? I mean, Silver Clock, like I say, back to this sort of trip. We don't know if she's going to take to the poly track. We'll find out. Time for Glory, a horse that I know they've always had high expectations for as well. She's got the ability. She just needs to put it together.
Yeah, they say they lose their form, but they never lose their ability. I don't know if the same applies to this filly because it doesn't look like she's showing the same ability she did as a 2-year-old. But off her current rating, you have to respect her because it's a merit rating plummet, drops in class. Will she take to the poly? On her best form, I mean, it won't be a race. I overlooked Silver Clock. I suggest to the viewers out there, add her in. Number 1, La Prestissimo. I know she beat a very weak, a conditional maiden last time out. But one has to believe she's got more to offer. I mean, she only having a 5th start. So it could be better than her current rating. One for larger players, number 6, French Princess Brandon. If you watch the latest replay, she was a bit unlucky. She came into the straights and she was balked on that inside running rail. She's 3 kilograms better off with Chelsea Blue, and I think she could get closer. So if you played in wide, throw her in.
All right, yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much to Daryl Marie. So he probably doesn't think it's as straightforward as I'm making out to be.
Sorry.
I know Daryl's just got one more thing to add, so I'm going to go back to Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl, you do have one more thing to add. You've obviously advised that Silver Clock does need to be added into the permutations. What else can you tell us?
Yeah, that form update for Hatter, Brandon. She ran behind Jazz Diva, beaten 7 3/4 of a length. She ran 8th on that occasion. So I just wanted to update the viewers.
Yeah, update those publications. That's all we can really advise. You keep going to SA Horse Racing, get all the information you need over there, and hopefully the guys on the course, on track, will give you all the information you need as well. So let's put those selections up on your screen. Let's see what we're doing over here. Darren Burrows, well, he's tipped us a jackpot. He's gone 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, and 10 in the first leg, by 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10, by banker 4, by 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and that's going to cost you 336 Rand. That's the first jackpot you need to be on by 10 past 2. Okay. Alright, so the second jackpot starts now in race number 5. Just another reminder about the social media strap up on your screen. All the information's there. Please pop us a message. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully by this time we've found you a few winners. Alright, so we're going to dive straight into it. The second jackpot starts now in race number 5. It is over 1,400 meters, and the market at the moment, as I wait for that to update on my side, that should come through any moment now. 17 to 10, two sides to a story. There always is. 2 word for word, 4 to 1, 5 shifting path at 6 to 1, and it's 13 to 2 and better bar those. All right, so Rachel Venica has been booked to ride over here for Wai Shong Mowing. So I'm going to go to Darren Burrows. Darren, 17 to 10, about two sides to a story. Give us some confidence. Can we have a punt on the nose?
Brandon, it is my first choice, but by no means a good thing. You know, he's done really well on the poly. He won 3 runs back. He ran second last time out. He gets the allowance of 1.5 kilos. He's going to be right there at the finish, but he's not going to Hollywood. It could be very tricky. You got a horse like Shifting Path, plummeted in the ratings. His dam did win from, I think, 14 to 1800. It's difficult to assess what his best trip is because I think he won very early on over 900 meters. I think he's going to go handy this time around, and he might just stay on into the money. You got to include word for word, good last effort. There's a couple of others with chances too. I played quite wide in the jackpots, but by no means, well, two sides to a story should be right there.
Yeah, I think a massive runner. Big runner, two sides to a story. I know there's a horse that Daryl Marie's also been following for quite some time and actually found this one for the places at a big price and I think got nabbed on the line was this horse word for word, Daryl. The 4-year-old Chestnut Gelding. Probably needs everything to go right again this afternoon, but I'm very much in the camp of two sides to a story. Do you like this one?
You enjoy opening up old wounds, Brandon. Yeah, no, he's very consistent and he's finished close up recently. That's number 2, word for word. So I'll give him a chance once again. Two sides to a story. I think he is the horse to beat, but in my opinion, he's too short in the market. If you are going to back him, wait a bit. I see him drifting. Action Stations and Hippocrates won from that form line. So on the poly track, he's most effective. He's come in here in good order. I'm 100% certain of that. Purple Powerhouse. Now, Keegan DeMello and himself get on extremely well. I was encouraged with his return after a rest. Possibly below par in his second run after rest. I'm willing to excuse him. So he's gonna put in a big effort here today. If he can just settle off the pace, we know he's got the turn of foot required to win a race of this nature.
Beautiful. All right, so we're going to go straight into those selections. Let's not waste time. It's obviously the second jackpot, and there's a few punters that really enjoy this jackpot too. So Darren Burrows has been kind enough to tip it to us. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10 by Banker 4, by 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 by Field, and that's going to cost you 672 Rand. It's up to you how you want to play that jackpot and how much you want to spend, but more importantly, you need to be on by 10 to 3. All right, so we go on to race number 6, and Voldemort, the eye-catching grey. You'll spot this one from a long way out. That's your favourites over here. I see the market has Voldemort number 4 at 19 to 10. 10 William Rufus at 9 to 2. 7 Parminions gone about 6 to 1 in the market, and then Princess Ilarias at 8 to 1. I see Fani Broncos has got this one on the poly with Samanga Kamalo, and it's 9 to 1 and better bar those. I'm going to go to Darren on the line. Darren, obviously, you're going to give us some confidence. I have no doubt. We've spoken about this horse off air, and you seem to think that Voldemort's going to take a lot of beating this afternoon.
Yes, a confident selection. I have banked him in my pick 6, my jackpot 1, my jackpot 2, and had a bet. He's got to be the right horse on form. That second behind Proud Master, he was closing the gap late. I think the blinkers will just sharpen him up early, and he'll give that finishing kick. We saw Proud Master win again. That was a 90 handicap. He's taking a drop in class. He hasn't quite produced what we thought he would early on in his career, but he's off the right mark in the right field. So, Banker.
Banker. That's what we like to hear. Let's go and chat to Daryl Marie, see what he likes over here. Daryl, do you like Voldemort? I mean, good run last time out. Good draw. Might just take a power of beating this afternoon.
Yeah, Brandon, who am I to disagree with Darren Burrows currently. He's in cracking form. So he labels this one. I've got healthy respect for him. I mean, just the guy, thing even franked that for me. He finished behind him. Blinkers go on. He's a leading light of year. I think the two Tony Reveland inmates will be his biggest danger in Dandolo coming back in trip. I think he'll settle this time around. And Cupid Song, who's a course and distance specialist. I mean, he loves a poly track. On this surface, he always gives of his best.
Yeah, I think Voldemort's going to be very hard to beat. I mean, there is a bit of competition around. Parminion's done nothing wrong on the poly. William Rufus on his day can certainly run. Let's put up those selections. I've got a funny feeling Darren Burrows is going to give us the confidence. Voldemort, there we go. Current price 19 to 10. Something tells me this will shorten up closer to race time. Robert Carty gets the ride for Vaughan Marshall. Drawn 4, and it is over 1,200 meters. Race goes off at 15:25. All right, so we move along. We go to the penultimate race, number 7, and this is a wide open race. The market has number 1, Gilda Grey, as your 5-1 favourite. The 8, Bay Breeze, 11-2. The 9, Eye Catching at 11-2, and it's 6-1 and better bar those. We'll start with Darren. Darren, wide open race. I'd imagine you'd probably go very wide in terms of exotics over here, and the quartet's going to pay big money, I'm sure.
Yeah, you got to go wide in this lineup. I do have healthy respect for this horse, Just Virginia. Now, she's got the 4-kilo claimer on, which makes her up to 5 kilos better off with like Bay Breeze, Eye Catching 3 kilos. It brings her right into the race, and I'm hoping that she goes handy from an average draw and gets into a good position, because she could finish a race off very strongly. Dangers, you got to include Eye Catching. Last time out, she over-raced terribly at the back of the field, and I'm hoping that she settles this time around. Gilda Grey can't be out of it. On the poly now, let's see how she goes. There's quite a few with chances, so I'll probably go wide as possible, but a place bet for me is Just Virginia.
Not an easy race. I can't give you any confidence. Darren can't really give you confidence. I'm not sure what Daryl's going to tell us. Daryl, can you give us any confidence for some value here?
I really can't, Brandon. Just Virginia, this apprentice, what's it, Kaboli, Lihaba, he's yet to win a race, okay? So now he's on a horse that's going to go to the front more than likely. Make use of his 4 kgs. He just needs to get his fractions right. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what pace he sets. I really hope he can notch up his first win as an apprentice. I know he holds Bay Breeze quite convincingly. I mean, or she does. But Bay Breeze raced 3 wide on that occasion, was ridden by apprentice herself. Go back to the Dillar form line. She actually beat Just Virginia, and she's only 2 kilograms worse off. So Bay Breeze now with Ant, who's riding better than Ant currently. I'll give her a chance of reversing that form despite the weight turnaround. So 6 and 8 for me. If you look past those two, I mean, you have to go as wide as possible.
I think that's a fair comment. You're probably going to have to go wide over here. We don't want to sound like a stuck record, because it's not an easy race, and it'd be unfair of us to sit here and label anything. I mean, you got 5-1 the field. Let's put up those selections. Let's see what we're doing in terms of the penultimate race, number 7. I see they're suggesting a double. So Daryl Marie suggesting a tote double over here. 6 and 8 in the first leg being Just Virginia, and the 8 Bay Breeze, into 4, 5, 6 and 7 in race number 8. So 4, 5, 6 and 7 are the numbers for race number 8. That's going to cost you R8. You can take it a few times. Race 7 goes off at 5-4, so 15.55, and it's over 1,900 meters. Let's go to the lucky last, race number 8. This is where we need to get out of jail. It does look to be a very trappy card indeed, or it has been a trappy card. The 4 Captain Rocket, your 9-2 favourites. The 6 Fight Song, 5-1. Mr. Pagals at 6-1. 3 Aerial Display at 6-1, and you're getting about 8-1 in better bar those. All right, so let's go to Darren. Let's see if he can help us for the last race. This was Captain Rocket. I'll tell you what, hats off to Stuart Ferry, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, Darren. He's done phenomenally well in his last few race meetings. A good man that's been in the game for a long time, and he certainly deserves all the success.
Yes, he's done exceptionally well since taking over his license. Now, Fight Song could be an interesting runner. He's back on the poly. He has performed well on the poly. But, this race, you've got a lot of course specialists, such as Mr. Pigalle, Captain Rocket, Cherokee Trail, 2 from 2 over course and distance. Chavoot's got a chance. Dowser, 2 from 3, if I'm not mistaken, course and distance. Or should I say course. Straight Up, 4 kilo claim. Sequoia won his only start on the poly. I thought the trickiest race on the card.
Tough race. I think Daryl Marie's going to agree with me over here. I mean, you're getting 9-2 favourites. I mean, open race, Daryl. I don't like the look of it. There does look to be a bit of speed in the race. And I think one horse that I don't think we can completely discount, and you'll probably agree with me, because this horse can run when he puts it together, is Dowser.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Darren touched on, he's a bit of a course specialist. Just needs to overcome a tricky draw and without exerting too much energy, and I can see him featuring. Chavoot, I had a look. I think he's going to probably end up in front without having to do too much. I was impressed with his comeback start last time out after a rest. I mean, it was on a soft track. He needed it. He only came up for air in the latter stages, very close to home. Gonna strip fitter. He's done well on this poly track before. If he can get a comfortable lead without doing too much, I can see him kicking away of a field from a field of this nature. Cherokee Trail, like Darren touched on, 2 from 2 over the course and distance. Then you got Captain Rocket. The penny seems to have finally dropped for him. He came to the track with a reputation. Now he's getting his act together. So it is a tricky lineup. I'm just suggesting a small one bet on Chavoot. I wouldn't go too much on the places because you can also miss the frame. It's that type of a race.
Okay, so let's put up those selections. I think we've had enough to say about this particular race. Very open. Chavoot for Daryl Marie going with the win over there. Just to refresh the market, as it stands, Chavoot standing at 8-1, which is a very decent price. Backable price. You can't get hurt at 8-1. You need to be on for the lucky last at 16.25. Thanks to Darren. Thanks to Daryl. It is over 1,700 meters, and to all the weighted to win viewers out there, thank you very much for joining us. We'll chat for tomorrow's meeting out at Turf. Until then, bye-bye.